Welcome to the Frequent Miler Million Mile Madness Challenge participant play-by-plays. This team challenge was our second one for 2024, where 3 of our Frequent Miler fam worked towards SAS's Eurobonus promotion of earning 1 million miles by taking 15 different qualifying SkyTeam airlines, and then tried to complete it in 2 weeks in November. In this segment, you can find all the video updates in one place from one of our contestants, Greg Davis-Keene. For the full details on this challenge, be sure to visit millionmilemadness.com. Get ready for a wild and wonderful ride and join us on Greg's Million Mile Adventure.
I'm on my way to the Detroit airport to fly to New York. And here's a big picture of my trip. I have all the flights booked so far except the final flight getting home. But I think it's going to be really good. I think I'm going to go really fast. And I have some really cool style points coming up that should be pretty exciting. So keep an eye on this channel. I'm now in the Delta Sky Club waiting for my flight to New York. And I want to tell you a little bit about why I haven't yet booked my final flight home. See, the thing is, I'm waiting for a very specific award flight to open up. I'm not going to tell you the reason yet, but it's going to be really cool if it works out. So I have a bunch of alerts set up to let me know if and when that opens up. And worst case, I do have a backup flight ready to go just in case the award doesn't show up. But I'm betting it will, but it might not show up until a few days before I have to fly it. I'm now at LaGuardia Airport in New York, and I'm in the Delta Sky Club. Ever since LaGuardia renovated, I've been eager to check out the Sky Club that people have raved about, and it is really, really nice. I just enjoyed a nice lunch, and I'll show you around really quickly, but then I'm off to my next experience. What is happening here? The Amex Platinum card has a benefit where they give you $300 in credit towards Equinox gym memberships. And people happen to have reported that it also works for Equinox spas. So I just had a wonderful spa treatment at an Equinox in New York City. So far today, I've been using Amex Platinum benefits like crazy. So I got into the Delta Sky Club at DTW and the Delta Sky Club at LaGuardia, and I got a great full body massage at the Equinox gym right here in New York City, all thanks to the Platinum card. Next up, a benefit from something else entirely, not from the Platinum card. Can you guess what I'm doing next? All right, I'm here with Julian Keel of Points Path, and also a good friend, goes way back. And you can see behind me where I'm at. I'm at the Blade Heliport East in New York City, and about to fly off to JFK.
Let's do this in style.
Indeed.
Wait, am I going?
I wish. You wish.
I don't know.
Here's the Blade Center East Heliport Lounge. That's a great way to get to JFK. Holy cow. All right, now I'm getting this ride to the terminal. Wow, this is really nice. Well, that's kind of crazy. I boarded the Blade helicopter at about 3:20, and it's now 3:30, and I'm actually in the terminal at JFK. You can't beat this way of traveling. No line at JFK for clear with pre-check. Nick and I recently discussed the question of whether I could get into the Virgin Atlantic Lounge, given that I have Delta Diamond status, but this ticket, flying Virgin Atlantic in economy, has my SAS number where I don't have any status at all. And, well, the answer is yes, I can. In fact, I don't know if he's going to be coming this way, but if he was, I could guess him in. I'm first off the flight from JFK to London, and it's first long-distance flight in economy I've taken in a long time. In a word, it kind of sucked. So I'm glad that the rest of my economy flights on this trip are all going to be much shorter than this one. Let's see how long it takes Nick to get through the automated system at London Heathrow. Of course, it's not going to work on the first try.
They do, yes. Yeah. It's,
No.
So I mean, this whole.
So the automated machine didn't like Nick, so they put him in the the remedial security lane. Well, this is kind of crazy. When Nick got pulled over at passport control, he found out that we had gone the wrong way. We hadn't apparently turned left somewhere to go to the transfer area. And so I was already through, which meant I had to exit the terminal altogether, like literally to go outside, to go upstairs into the departures level and through security that way. Meanwhile, Nick was pointed in the right direction for transfers. Well, he's held up at security now, and I'm comfortably in the lounge waiting for him. So it turns out that not only were Nick and I on the same flight to London, but we're on the same flight to Copenhagen as well.
Crazy.
And it's crazy by itself, but it gets even funnier.
We're all here. The band's back together.
Steven's also going to Copenhagen. Same flight on SAS.
Didn't plan it. This is all just we got a nice little surprise here.
So this is Green George, which is a Thomas Dambo troll. So if you've been following our adventures on challenges since 2019, when we did 40k to Far Away, I found quite a few Thomas Dambo trolls, both here in Copenhagen and in Brussels. But this is one that I'd missed the first time. So this is the 50th troll that he created, and it's here in Christiania in Copenhagen.
The three of us are in Copenhagen.
Ready to go.
And we're ready to eat pastries. This highly rated place is right by the waterfront. And yeah, we can't wait. I bet these guys want me to stop recording so we can...
You don't have to stop recording. We just have to start eating.
Steven, what do you think of the pastries?
Very, very good.
On a scale of Macau to Team Labs, where would you put it?
An inch below Team Labs.
All right, Nick. On a scale from Santiago to Argentina street art.
There are some tasty pastries, but I would put them certainly ahead of Santiago, and but it's still a distance behind the street art.
All right. I'm getting my exercise tonight. I arrived in Amsterdam from Copenhagen with an onward flight in a couple hours to Bucharest. And I remember that there was an earlier flight to Bucharest, and I looked up where it was. I saw it was at a whole nother gate and way at the end of that gate. So I hustled like crazy to get here in time, because I thought, well, KLM could let me same day change to the earlier flight. And that would have worked, except that the earlier flight is not flown by KLM, it's flown by Tarom. And they can't allow me to use a KLM ticket, even though they're partners, to same day change to Tarom. Then I inquired about buying the ticket, and basically too late to buy the ticket either. So back to the original plan. No harm, no foul, but yeah, I got some exercise, so I guess that's good. After a ton of travel, I just arrived at the Hilton Garden Inn Bucharest, and it looks pretty nice. It's 2 a.m. here, but it's not that time. It's not that late to my body's clock, so I think I'm gonna go wander around the town a little bit. It actually looked like people were out and about doing stuff, even this late. So I'll go check it out, and then hopefully I'll get a good night's sleep before heading off in the morning. Check this out. Bucharest Old Town, 2 a.m. It's hopping.
I'm really impressed with how hopping the nightlife here is in Bucharest's Old Town. This looks like a good place. This is really cool. This is a covered arcade, or sort of like almost like a street that's inside. Number 4. I just flew from Bucharest to Madrid on Tarom, on that exact airplane, and then just walked up that jet bridge. It's beautifully sunny here in Spain, which was not at all true in Bucharest or Copenhagen, both of which were very, very gray. So it's nice to see the sun. Can you guess which airline I'm flying next? Today is Sunday, so this is day 3 of this big adventure, and I'm just doing a midday check-in. I flew this morning on Tarom to Madrid, and I'm in the airport in a really nice lounge. I really enjoyed my brief few-hour layover here. Got a great lunch, and just had time to kind of recoup. And now I've got 2 more qualifying flights to do today. So I think that'll wrap up all of the European carriers for me by the end of day today. And then tomorrow, I'm only going to get 1 qualifying airline the whole day. So I think I'm way ahead of, or will be by the end of today, way ahead of Nick and Steven. But maybe tomorrow they'll have a chance to catch up, since I'm going to go slower tomorrow. All right, let's check out the Aspire Lounge in Amsterdam. I just had a quick dinner in the Aspire Lounge. The food selection didn't look good, but it actually turned out to be pretty tasty, so I'm pretty happy with that dinner. And now I'm off to catch my next flight. Originally, it was supposed to be about 2 hours later, but Air France let me switch to an earlier flight, so I'm excited. I should be able to get extra rest tonight. It all makes sense now. Yesterday in the Amsterdam airport, I ran to catch another earlier flight because I had it in my mind that there was an earlier flight I could get on that would qualify, and it turned out I was wrong because it was a Tarom flight instead of a KLM flight yesterday. But then today, I'm through Amsterdam again, and this time it was correct. And so that must be what was happening, is I had in my mind that when I went through Amsterdam, I should watch for being able to catch an earlier flight, and I just forgot which time through Amsterdam it was. To get to the Hilton CDG Airport Hotel, take the train, the airport train to Terminal 3. After going right back there, go all the way to the end and through those double doors. Now, as you step out, you'll see the M Hotel straight ahead, but to the right is the Hilton. If you get here at night, you might want to take this lit up path and then cut right at the appropriate time to go to the Hilton, rather than walking in the dark behind the bus station, which you probably don't want to do. Here's where we can turn right to go along the walkway to the Hilton. Here we go. After the path, it's inevitable that there is a little bit of dark walking, but there's the sign for the Hilton Hotel. Go up that sidewalk. I'm at the Hilton Paris Airport Hotel, and the rooms are nothing really special to look at. I mean, they're totally fine, but it is awfully convenient. This hotel is a easy walk from Terminal 3 at CDG, and it's easy to take a train, an airport shuttle train from other terminals to Terminal 3. So there you go. If you stay at the Hilton CDG Airport and you want to get to the airport in the morning, walk out the front door and turn left and walk down the path that way. You're on the right track if you see that sign, and then you walk down that path. What am I doing here? So the automated passport machine didn't like me, so it told me to go to see a person. Well, there's no people. So now I'm in airport timeout. I'm out of timeout, and now I'm in Reyes style passport control. This is the Air France Salon Lounge at CDG. I stopped into the Air France Lounge for a quick bite, and now I'm off to my flight. This is the flight I'm most excited about for my whole trip. Here's the pre-departure champagne. This is my vanity area in my Etihad First Class Apartment suite. This is Etihad's version of First Class on their A380 aircraft. Let's take a look at the Etihad First Apartments amenity kit. It all came in that big zipper folder. And what we have here are Giorgio Armani slippers, toiletries from Espa, Etihad eye mask, earplugs, and toothbrush, and Giorgio Armani pajamas. While waiting for the flight to begin, I've been served champagne, Arabic coffee, dates, I'm sure more's coming. The airplane has a lobby area where I can wait until they finish preparing my bed. This is Etihad's onboard lobby bar. Here's my suite made up with the bed. It's bedtime. Well, that was a terrific way to nap on a plane. When I last flew Etihad Apartments, and the first time I flew Etihad Apartments was on a nighttime flight to London, and I really enjoyed that flight, but I slept through a lot of it because it was a nighttime flight, and so I was really excited for this one because this is a daytime flight, and so I still got to enjoy the bed because I was tired, I needed that nap. But now I'll also be able to enjoy meal service and even a shower in the sky later on the flight. View of the suite from the head of the bed. I'm ready to get up now, so check this out. Pretty cool. It's time for me to put my challenge hat on and talk about why I booked this. There's my challenge hat. Well, alright, so first of all, when I discovered that Etihad was flying the A380, which is the plane that has the Etihad First Apartments on it, when I discovered that they are now flying it from Paris to Abu Dhabi, I got very excited because I need to be in the Middle East in order to catch, I really wanted to do a short flight on Saudi and fly luxury otherwise, so this way I can fly to the Middle East, take a short Saudi flight, and then continue on from there towards Asia in order to pick up all the Asian carriers I need to get, including Kenya Airways, which is not an Asian carrier, but they have that Fifth Freedom flight in Asia, so I can knock off a flight with them as well. So this particular booking cost me 62,500 American Airlines miles and about $140 in taxes. And it flies me in first class from Paris to Abu Dhabi, and then business class from Abu Dhabi to Jeddah. And then from Jeddah, I'm going to fly Saudi to Riyadh. That'll get the Saudi requirement in. And then I have another fun flight from there onward to Asia. I want to talk now about the original trick I had with this Etihad flight. I ended up changing this, but I thought it was a pretty clever solution, so I want to talk through what I had designed originally. So originally, I had booked Paris to Abu Dhabi in first class on Etihad, and then onward to Sri Lanka in business class, all for the same 62,500 American Airlines miles. And the thing is, I had picked the onward flight to be the next day, so it had a pretty long layover. The reason I did that is that gave me time to book a flight into Saudia and then back out of Saudia to to catch my onward flight so I could get the Saudi Arabia Airlines done and still continue on the flight that I already had. Now, the reason I changed it was that it turned out that Sri Lanka wasn't a great place to be at the time I would have been there as far as onward flights went. I just couldn't find good ones that matched up. So, but I still need to explain that middle part. So again, I'm flying into Abu Dhabi. That was the original plan, and then next day onward to Sri Lanka. Okay, so I tried originally to find a round trip on Saudi to fly into, let's say, Jeddah and then back out to Abu Dhabi, but actually only Etihad that flies to Jeddah from Abu Dhabi. Saudi will sell that ticket like under their marketing, but it's Etihad flown, so that wouldn't have counted. So what I figured out instead is that I could book a one-way ticket on Saudi from Abu Dhabi to Dubai. So it went to Jeddah on the Etihad flight, and then from Jeddah to Dubai on an actual Saudi flight. And so that got me, that one-way trip or one-way booking got me the necessary Saudi flight. Now I'd be in Dubai, which is actually really close to Abu Dhabi. So I was just going to take a taxi, and it takes about an hour or so to drive. And so that was my original plan. I had the prices for taxis and everything all set up in my spreadsheet, but it didn't work out, and I'm really happy actually with the new plan. So I don't feel bad about that, but just wanted to talk through what I originally had designed. Can I see the lips? Beautiful, thank you. It's time to eat. Cheers. First course, caviar. Try it first just on its own. That's great. Now I'm doing a tasting of all the white wines they have on board. Oh my gosh, look at that lobster tail. Before doing this wine tasting, I had asked Tim, who's our resident frequent miler wine expert, which wine I should get, and of the whites, he said he recommended the Gruner. I don't know if I'm pronouncing that right. I'm not a wine guy. But you know what? This was one of my two least favorites, actually. It's okay, but I actually liked the Riesling, believe it or not. I've developed a taste for Rieslings lately, so I enjoy that. And actually, the Chardonnay is pretty good too. I'm gonna go on and do a wine tasting of the red wines with the main course. Now for the red wine course. Here's the filet mignon main course, along with tasting of all four red wines. Now it's time for the filet mignon and the wine. I'm going to talk now about which are the red wines I like best. Now, don't make fun of me. I don't know how to pronounce any of these, so I'm going to butcher every one of them, I'm sure. But Tim recommended either the Châteauneuf du Pape or the Chateau de la Marque. I didn't like either of those at all. What I liked a bit was the Chianti Classico, which I always like Chianti Classico, so that's not a surprise. But what I like most, my number one favorite, oh my gosh, I don't know how to say this, La Franquish Reunion Passion. It's a Crusher and Wider Hittel Burgenland from Austria, 2015. So if any of you know wine and can make any sense out of what I just said, that was my favorite on board. Now keep in mind, my understanding is that the way flavors are on airplanes is very different from how they're on the ground. So just because I like something in the air here doesn't mean I would like it on the ground, and vice versa for things I dislike. So it could very well be that the things Tim recommended would be my favorites on the ground, but they very much were not from this flight. All right, while I wait for them to clear my plates and stuff to get the next course, I'm going to read to you what the menu says about that wine that I like so much, and I'm going to very purposely not even try to pronounce anything correctly. So here it goes. And it says, Reunion is a joint project between two renowned Austrian wine producers, Kracher and Weider. While Kracher is famous for his subtle, sweet wines, Weider is considered one of the most important producers of red wines in Burgenland or something like that. Their goal with Reunion was to create a wine that combines the opulence of something, with the cool style and elegance found in the niche market region. The 2015 vintage offers dark fruit, exhibiting notes of ripe sour cherries, hints of herbs, and undertones of dark tobacco. On the palate, it is... How could they dare interrupt me? Alright, back to the show. On the palate, it is medium-bodied with velvety tannins, showcasing dark fruit notes, followed by a distinctive minerality on the finish. Yeah, that's basically what I would have said had I said stuff about it. Yeah, so it turned out that the one that I like the most is the Austrian one.
Okay, so you prefer my Austrian wine, less dry. Okay, good to know. I never tried exactly this wine, the one we have on board.
I was surprised, yeah. So once again, I did not like the ones that my friend Tim recommended.
So everyone has a different...
So this was interesting. I was talking to the flight attendant about which wines I preferred of the reds, and I took another sip of the one that Tim recommended, and I actually liked it a lot. Maybe I didn't like it paired with the beef, because now that I'm done with the beef and just having it on its own, I thought it was really good. So I'll tell you a little bit about that one. Again, I'm not going to try to say it correctly. Châteauneuf du Pape, Domaine de Saint-Chauron Valley, France, 2020. The domain traces its origins back to the 14th century, positioning it as one of the Rhone region's most ancient wineries. In 2006, the determined Cazes family from Bordeaux, renowned owners of Chateau Lynch Bages, acquired the property. Their stewardship has led to an elevated standard of wine quality, blah, 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 blah. So that's the Châteauneuf du Pape. Here's the apple tart dessert. It was supposed to be a mango tart, but they didn't stock that one, unfortunately. So finally with this meal, I'm going to have some dessert, and I'm trying out the Royal Salute 21-year blended whiskey, which we'll see how that goes. Now it's time to shower in the sky. I don't even particularly feel like I need to shower right now. I showered, 8 hours ago in the hotel, but I don't think you should ever pass up a chance to shower in the sky if you have that chance, so I'm gonna go for it. Well, that was super refreshing. I'm glad the pilot chose not to wobble the plane at all while I was in there, and I feel great. I'm at Etihad's First Class Lounge at Abu Dhabi. Here's my little pod. This area has semi-private little cocoon-like areas. Here's first-class dining. I am not hungry enough to eat anything right now. The lounge has various sitting areas with snacks and drinks sometimes placed around. The new terminal in Abu Dhabi is absolutely beautiful. Here's my Etihad Business Class flight to Jeddah. Here's the meal on the Etihad flight to Jeddah. So Nick is over there taking pictures of his seat. So I clearly don't need to take pictures of my seat since Nick is taking all the pictures we need for both of us. All right, quick recap of my day. So I last left you, I flew amazing Etihad First Apartments to Abu Dhabi, and then I took Etihad Business Class from there to Jeddah, and that was a perfectly nice flight. Then in Jeddah, I had to transit to a domestic flight because I flew Saudia to Riyadh, and I had a tight connection. It took a long time to get through, visa and passport control. So it was 20 minutes before departure, not 20 minutes before like boarding, 20 minutes before departure when I got through security, and I ran because I'd gotten a text saying they were going to close the doors at 20 minutes before. So literally ran through the airport all the way to the gate, made it just in time. So I made it to Riyadh and had to transit terminals to get to the international terminal. Luckily had enough of a space between these two flights. So I made it in time, went to the lounge. I couldn't believe it. Nick was sitting in the lounge. So he and I are on the same flight. We're now on a Qatar flight to Doha. It's only an hour-long flight, but it's on this big 777 aircraft. Beautiful reverse herringbone seats and everything, and they're going to serve a meal and everything. So we're definitely going to enjoy this, and who knows where he's going to go from there, but I'll let you know where I go next when the time comes. Here's my home for the next 8 hours as I make my way to Jakarta. How cool was that Nick and I were on the same flight from Saudi Arabia to Doha, and Qatar just does luxury right. I mean, the 1 hour flight, beautiful plane, incredible service, and now, just like Nick is flying onward on this one 40K award using AA miles to fly from the Middle East to Asia, so am I. I'm flying Qatar. So, I flew the first leg to Doha, and now I'm flying from Doha to Jakarta in this A350 aircraft, which is not my favorite of Qatar's configurations, because it's very open, so you don't have as much privacy as you might in some others. But it's new seeming, and the service just can't be beat. So I'm gonna love this flight, and I'll see you in Jakarta. Here's the amenity kit on my flight.
Evacuation slides will serve as rafts. Please remember to remove them.
Here's the starter course for dinner on my Qatar flight. Here's the Sheraton Jakarta Airport Hotel. Here's the Sheraton Jakarta Airport Hotel. The hotel arranged to have a shuttle bus pick me up at the airport and bring me here. And here's my room. I think there's gonna be a gorgeous view out back, but it's dark out right now. I'll look at that in the morning. In the closet there are robes and slippers and things. You have here a mosquito repellent, so I found that interesting. I guess it's comforting that they have the repellent, but a little scary that they need it, but that shouldn't be surprising in Jakarta. And so, yeah, so this is an amazing deal at only 10,000 Marriott points per night. Yeah-oh. I went to try to check in for this China Southern Airlines flight, which I bought as a positioning flight. It's not one of the qualifying airlines. But it says verification unsuccessful. There were no ticket records found. So this is after they sent me a code by email. I tried using the original ticket number to pull it up and got similar results. So I think I just don't have a ticket for this and I'm gonna have to book something else. Yikes. Okay, let's take a look outside at the Sheraton Jakarta Airport Hotel. This is right outside my room. See, there's a lake there. I don't know if you can see it, but there is a lake there, trust me. And you can hear the noise of airplanes because the airport's really close by. Very, very nice for an airport hotel. This is the hallway that leads to my room. And I'm walking towards the lobby area. But first let me walk back here. Different rooms, different hotel guest rooms are back this way. Walk through the grounds of all these beautiful ponds and fountains. Isn't that great? This place really is like an all-out resort. Wow, the breakfast spread here is incredible. This Sheraton Jakarta Airport turned out to be really nice. I paid only 10,000 Marriott points and my welcome gift to check in is 1,000 points back, so net 9,000 points for what's essentially a resort right near the airport. Perfect overnight stay if you're flying through Jakarta and not staying longer term. And fantastic breakfast. Yeah, what am I gonna say? Great deal. I'm in Garuda's lounge at the Jakarta Airport. I just had a great stay at the Jakarta Airport Sheraton Hotel. And now I'm off to, where am I going? Bangkok on Garuda. And from there, probably a lot of people can guess, flying the Kenya Airways 5th Freedom flight. So hopefully I'll make that because I have like a hour-and-a-half connection in Bangkok. And that could be pretty tight depending on, you know, if my Garuda flight's on time or not. So we'll see. Stay tuned. Here's Garuda's lounge at the Jakarta Airport. Here's a trick to have a little more legroom in economy. If your personal item is keeping your feet from stretching out, you could simply put it under your leg and then you can stretch out all you want. Alright, here's a little hack for when you're sitting on an aisle and you've got the tray table down and maybe there's food loaded on top of it, but you really want to get out to use the bathroom and the armrest is in the way. Some of these armrests have a secret little lever in the bottom back that if you pull on it, you can unlock the lever. And then once you unlock the lever, you can raise it up and then you're free to move about the cabin. Hello. I'm in the Bangkok airport waiting for the Kenya Airways flight to Guangzhou. And this flight is like a bottleneck for people doing the SAS challenge thing because they are only currently running it 3 times a week. And so it's kind of inevitable that we'll run into other people who are doing the challenge. And in fact, I've been running into a lot of people. Everyone standing around here is doing the challenge, including this guy right here, who's also doing the challenge.
I am, and here I am, because there's only 3 days a week you can do this flight, so decent chance that we're going to overlap on this one.
I'm just hoping we run into Steven too. I don't know.
We'll see.
Here's my Kenya Airways business class seat for the next couple hours. Not surprisingly, I have plenty of legroom. Turned out that an hour and a half layover in Bangkok was more than enough time. As long as you're going from an international flight to another one, you can go through the transfers area, and you just have to show your onward boarding pass and go through a light security check, and you're in. And so it was probably 10 minutes. So that was really easy. And now I'm on my Kenya Airways flight to Guangzhou, China. And I had bid on an upgrade to business class, so I'm sitting in live flight business class on the way. It's only a couple hour flight there, so it doesn't really matter that much, but I thought it was kind of cool. I think the minimum bid to upgrade from economy to business class was $195, and that's what I bid, and it came through. It's a really short flight, it's only 2 hours, but I'm currently laying flat, and they have nice thick padding to put down over the seat, so it's really comfortable. It's a big open design, so there's not much privacy, but it's very, very comfortable. So service is good. I mean, I have no idea how it would be on a long haul flight, but it's been good for this short flight. And the seats and things seem very dated, but still, it's got nothing to complain about. I think it's well worth the upgrade cost. Here's my lunch. For this trip, I had thought through a lot of contingencies, like what I should do if I miss a flight, but I never thought through this particular situation. What happened was I arrived in China from the Kenya Airways flight, and I have an onward flight to Vietnam. And so I went to the international transfers desk, and they looked through all my stuff. They, of course, asked to see the Vietnam visa, which I had. I had it printed out and ready to go. And the woman noticed that the visa had the wrong dates on it. It had from yesterday to today instead of from today till tomorrow. So at first she said, I just cannot enter at all. So I pushed back a little bit, and I pointed out that I have an onward flight from Vietnam tomorrow. So they eventually, it took quite a while, and it took a supervisor to come, but they eventually decided to let me go through. So now I'm still in the airport in Guangzhou, and I'm curious to see what happens when I get to Vietnam and they see that when I arrive, my visa will expire in about 30 minutes. I don't know what will happen. So last night I arrived in Vietnam a little bit before midnight, and my visa expired at midnight. So I had this whole thing at the visa checkpoint, and they got a supervisor, and they had to rush around to different machines to try to get one that could process it quickly enough to get me in before midnight, and they did, so barely. So I got in at about 2 minutes before midnight. So now I'm headed, so that was last night. I'm headed back to the airport and hoping they'll let me out of the country for my onward flight. We'll see. This is the Sheraton Hanoi West. I picked it, it's pretty nice, isn't it? I picked it because I really wanted to pick Hilton hotels for this trip, since they generously have offered 5 free nights to a reader or listener who helps one of us the most to win this competition. But The only Hilton in town was sold out tonight, so I need a few more nights to get the next level of Marriott Elite status this year. So Sheraton it is. I'm in Vietnam Airways business lounge at Hanoi Airport, and this is I think the third or fourth time I've used my Delta Elite status to get into a SkyTeam lounge. This time I kind of wish I hadn't at the lounge next door, which I think takes Priority Pass. Look a lot nicer, so I'm going to go over there. Priority Pass for the win with a much nicer lounge. This has got to be one of the strangest versions of Rhea's First Class I've ever seen, but I'll take it. I just arrived Hong Kong, and I'm going to be going onward on China Eastern from here. And I found that they have these handy information screens, so I was able to look up where the transfer desk for China Eastern is, and it's transfer desk E1, and so I'm headed that way now to get my boarding pass and make sure my SAS number is attached to it. I'm in Hangzhou, China at the Canopy by Hilton West Lake, and this hotel is a trip. Room is really nice, and it has all kinds of interesting things going on here. So really nice robes there. I got a welcome amenity. It's very pretty. When I came in, those blinds just automatically raised up. And I don't know, neat artwork and things. But where things get really trippy is down in the lobby area and in the elevator. I'll show you now. Here's a hallway just outside my room. I think the hallways are really nice, very pretty. I love the lighting by the doors. It's gorgeous. These elevators are hilarious. Here's the lobby. The breakfast is in there in the morning, and there's a bar that they actually give you a free drink each day. I guess as an elite member, maybe. I don't know if it's for all guests or not. Tell me this isn't a trippy hotel. Some more of the lobby. And of course the robot. And in case you get lost, the directions are projected onto the floor. I'm sorry, I'm not going to be here to see this. Doing the 24-hour transit visa on arrival in China turned out to be a little bit harder than I expected, or at least a lot more time consuming, let's say. It took me almost 3 hours, maybe about 2.5 hours to get through. What happened was they had a great big desk for the transit visa, but there was nobody staffing it, at least not when I got there. And so they sent me to fill out an arrivals card, but they gave me the wrong one. They gave me one for people actually arriving to stay, not people transiting. So I waited in line with everybody else to turn in the arrivals card, and then I was sent back to do another card. And so, yeah, the whole process took forever. But so it wasn't really hard. It was just, you got to be ready for a lot of time. I'm on my way to the West Lake night market and came across this thing. So this is clearly where the Woolen night market normally takes place, but everything seems to be gone. It is after 11 p.m. here, so that makes sense. But we do have plenty of like food stalls and things along the sides. So there's definitely still stuff going on, but it's probably not what, it's probably not why this was recommended to me. As you can see, I got here too late. It's all empty. So I'll head back to the hotel, and in the morning I've got a different adventure to do. I'm staying in West Lake for a reason. It's time to go explore West Lake. I've made it to worry-free West Lake. Here's some locals enjoying the beauty of the lake. Well, this is a bit disappointing. I got up early so that I could come here for the sunrise, and it does not look like the sun is going to rise over West Lake this morning. Stefan Krasowski, author of the blog Rapid Travel Chai, described West Lake as one of the most sought after scenic spots in all of China. I would say I could see why, but I can't because it's too foggy to see why. But the surrounding area is very pretty. If it wasn't so foggy out, I'd be looking into getting on a boat like that to take me out to there's all these little islands out there. You might be able to barely make out. There you go. There's a smudge of an island. And so you can take these little boats out and explore some of those places. But that's not in the cards for me today. Here's another view of the boat as it starts to come in towards the shore. The area around the lake is pretty. I love walking into this hotel. Check this out. This is the Canopy by Hilton West Lake. Every now and then on this trip, my Delta Sky Priority status has really helped me out. Like right now, there's no line in the Sky Priority, but a huge line for check-in for everyone else. So I'm in the Hangzhou Airport trying to check in to go to Taipei on Xiamen Air, and they noticed there's a small rip in my passport. That's been there for years, and I've only had one person even like sort of raise an eyebrow at that, but they called over to Taipei's immigration office to see if they'll accept my passport and won't let me go unless Taipei immigration says yes. So I'm in a holding pattern right now, waiting to see what Taipei says. Fortunately, I got through that without any trouble after all. They came back with just scan his passport, and if it scans, then it's okay. So they scanned it, and it was okay. Onward I go. Now in a big line for immigration inspection to leave China, and I don't have a great feeling about how this is going to go. What a relief. I made it through, no problem at all, actually. She scanned my passport, and the automated system identified me right away, and I just had to turn in a departures card, which I'd gotten last night when I came into the country. There was like an entry card and a departure card. And so I had filled out that departure card last night, but nobody asked me for it until just now going through immigration, which makes sense. I had bought a cheap Xiamen Air business class ticket to go to Taipei, and that gets me into this VIP lounge right here behind me. So let's go check it out. Nice little tea station. Plush seating. Here's our dining area. And some of the amenities you get in Xiamen Business are slippers, bottled water, and a newspaper. So this is an impressive lunch for an hour, 20-minute flight. I'm here in the China Airlines lounge in Taipei. It is not a priority class lounge, but again, I've gotten into a lounge thanks to my Delta Elite status. So they accept SkyTeam Elite Plus, and I even guested in a friend on this one. Here's some of the food options here. It's not as impressive as some of the other lounges we've been to, but not bad. And of course it does have a noodle bar, so that makes it work. Here's a quick review of Xiamen Air Business Class. I just had a really quick hour, 20-minute flight, something like that, to Taipei, and it was delightful. They served a complete hot meal, and the flight attendants were very attentive. They did things that you wouldn't expect on such a short flight, like there were slippers and a blanket. They asked me if I wanted to be woken up for meal service if I was asleep. I found that kind of hilarious. And yeah, just overall, a really nice little flight. China Airlines short flight, still full meal. Here's where I'm staying tonight, the Conrad Tokyo. I'm staying tonight at the elegant Conrad Tokyo Hotel. Let's take a look. Here's the bathroom. If you want to bathe while looking out the window, you can just pull up those blinds and see out to the bay view. And here's the bedroom. I love this big window looking out over the harbor. And this wonderful, almost window seat sofa that they have in front here. It's great. And of course, we've got the Conrad bear that inspired Nick's own son's name. I am wearing the pajamas that the Conrad provides for guests. Now, you're not supposed to take these with you, is my understanding, but you could wear them during your stay. So I figured, why not? Quick update from the Conrad Tokyo. Even though I'm done with my 15 SAS accredited flights, I am not done with the challenge. I have to get all the way home in order to complete the challenge and hopefully win it. So I am flying out of Tokyo late tonight, and I have some things planned to earn some more bonus points for the challenge during the day today. So look forward to that. I happen to have a friend who was coming to town at the same time, so we arranged to stay at the Conrad Tokyo together. I had a wonderful, relaxing breakfast downstairs this morning with my friend, and I'll tell you what, it was so nice to be able to sleep in this morning. I didn't have to set an alarm for the first time this whole trip. I'd been setting alarms for like 5:30 a.m. every single day that I stayed in a hotel until now, and this is just luxury. I'm loving it. Here's a quick summary of my Million Mile Madness trip. I started in Detroit and flew Delta to LaGuardia Airport in New York, and then I went for an Equinox massage in New York City, where I then went from there using Blade helicopter to fly to JFK. And from there I took Virgin Atlantic to London. And Nick was on the same flight as me for that leg. In London, we met up with Stephen, and we all flew together to Copenhagen. And we went and explored Copenhagen a little bit, to all three of us. Then we went back to the airport, and I flew on to Bucharest via KLM. In Bucharest, I got out late at night to see the, nightclub action kind of a little bit. I didn't do anything there, but I experienced the sort of the energy of the nightlife in Old Town Bucharest, where I stayed. That was very nice. I then went back to the airport early the next morning, and I flew to Madrid on Tarom. And I flew from there to, where did I go? I think I went to Amsterdam on Air Europa. From Amsterdam, I flew to Paris on Air France. And this was all in a whirlwind. Like 2 days later, I was in France, stayed overnight at the Hilton at the airport in Paris, and the next morning I flew Etihad First Apartments all the way to Abu Dhabi. Of course, that was an award flight using 62,500 American Airlines miles to fly international first class, but so much better than regular first class. And from there I flew Etihad Business Class, part of the same award, to, where did I go? I went to Jeddah, and in Jeddah, I had to literally run to catch my connection to fly Saudia to Riyadh. And from Riyadh, I met up with Nick, who was in the same airport, waiting for the same outbound flight on Qatar to fly to Doha and then onward to the next leg. He had a different next leg than me. So we hung out a tiny bit in the lounge in Doha, and then I was on my way to Jakarta on Qatar's business class, and that was a great flight too. Got wonderful sleep on that overnight flight. it was overnight for me. It was actually daytime for the world on that side of the planet. And then Jakarta, I stayed overnight at a really cool airport hotel, a Sheraton that's pretty new, renovated, and it was more like a resort than an airport hotel. It was really cool. And then from there, I flew Garuda, Indonesia to Bangkok. And there in Bangkok, I went to the gate to fly Kenya Airways to Guangzhou. And there were a whole bunch of people doing the SAS Million Mile thing, waiting for that flight, because it only is currently flying 3 times a week. So that particular flight is like a bottleneck for us. So it's not surprising to run into others doing the same thing, including Nick. So Nick and I were once again together. We didn't fly together near each other on the plane because I had bid on an upgrade and got the upgrade to business class. It was lie flat. They had a thick mattress pad. I napped on that, very comfortable seat on the way to China. And then once there, I flew, I didn't leave the airport. I flew China Southern, that's a non-qualifying flight, to Hanoi. And I had a visa scare in Hanoi, and they rushed to get me into the country before my visa expired at the stroke of midnight. I got in at 2 minutes till midnight. So that was a little bit harrowing, but I did get in, and I stayed over somewhere there. I can't even remember. This has been so whirlwind. And then from there, I flew Vietnam Air to Hong Kong, and then China Eastern from Hong Kong to Hangzhou, China. And there I stayed in a place called West Lake, and at a Canopy by Hilton, which was a super cool hotel. You'll have to look at videos of it. The lobby is like some kind of weird futuristic disco-like thing, but the room was very elegant. It was a very weird combination, but I liked it. And I did some things, or tried to do some things around there before flying to Taipei on Xiamen Air in business class, and that was delightful. Great business class flight. And then same day, I flew from Taipei to Seoul on China Airlines. And then same day, I completed my 15 flights by flying from Seoul to Tokyo on Korean Air. And then I checked in to the Conrad Tokyo, and here I am.
Ha, see, that's why I had someone do mine.
There you go. Perfect. Yeah.
Thank you.
It's like more open.
So, そうしましたら 2 years. I like to just teach you, learn you Japanese culture of sushi. Okay. And
it's seabrain, which is often called red snapper, and in Japanese it is called tai.
Tai.
And now which is the central bone. The skin is so thin. If you like, please purchase it.
I have a question. Why is it so long? Why is it so long? It's like if the fish is small, but the blade.
なんで魚小さいのになる？
刺身を切るときはここからここまでを使います。一気に切るので。
So when you make sashimi, you have to use like one stroke. You have to cut the fish in one stroke. You can't move back and forth. So that's why. Okay. It's a little bit fermented, but it tastes better. Like to eat this thin fried tofu, so that's why it is called inarizushi.
まず手を濡らします。
So first, moisten your hand to avoid sticky hands.
で、タップします。これを返します。
And then flip it over.
Small portion of rice in one hand, and trying to remember what's next. Grab the
fish.
The fish, and I put some of that on there. All right. Put that on. And then I kind of smush it a little bit.
And then make the hole.
There you go.
Yes! Nice. First, moisten your hand and take rice for one bite.
で、卵を取ります。
And take the topping with your left hand. It is the same process as usual one. And then flip it over.
次、海苔
So we're gonna use the strip of seaweed here.
を包みます。
And then make sure that shiny side of the seaweed is up. And then wrap it up with the seaweed
で、裏はこんな感じです。
like this.
で、握っていきます。
Then grasp with your 4 fingers and 2 fingers. Then finish. Okay, this is place rice like this, like a mountain.
次、巻き締めます。
And with your 3 fingers, push and squeeze from the side and the top. Then 2 more cuts. It's up. So stand and burn.
There's the sushi I made. It's time to torch the sushi.
I love.
So I made this awesome sushi. The sushi master said it was great. So
And Mr.
there you go.
Ishii will explain how to.
Here's the sushi I made in class. Doesn't it look beautiful? I'm shocked that I was able to make something that actually looked good. Usually with cooking classes, whatever I make turns out to be kind of a joke and looks awful, but I think this looks good, other than the missized sushi rolls over there.
The shop is called Harry's Hedgehogs. So I guess all of the hedgehogs are named Harry. There you go. Here's a little treat for you. See that? You see that?
This little hedgehog here, and we've got these treats that look so delicious that we're gonna give him. You go, Hedgie. Right there. Look, see? Go for it. Yum. That's good stuff, isn't it? Let's give him another one. Here, you look like you want another one. Go for it. There. There you go. All right. Now I'm gonna try to pick you up. I'm pretty sure I'm supposed to pick you up from the sides. So I know it's scary. I know it's scary. There you go. Look at that guy. How cute is that?
What is this? Meerkats.
Meerkat?
Yes. City cat.
Oh, meerkat. Now I see what you're saying. It's a meerkat.
It's a meerkat. Wow.
This is the Hyatt Toranomon Hills in Tokyo. It's a Hyatt Unbound Collection Hotel. Currently going for 25,000 points per night. And this is, I was upgraded to a deluxe king from a regular king. Look, this has a very unusual design with a sink here out in the sort of hall area. And you have the shower and toilet in what would typically be the, the bathroom where you'd normally find a sink. So yeah, I don't know, very interesting. Late-breaking change in plans. I was originally, or previously anyway, scheduled to leave Tokyo Saturday night, but even though I was checked in and everything and ready to go, I got a late-breaking tip from a reader who pointed out that the specific type of flight I've been waiting for was actually available, and so I was able to snag that. I canceled the United Award I had for going home on ANA. I had to uncheck in first in order to make it cancelable, and then I was able to cancel it and get my United miles back. And I booked this new flight, which you'll hear more about very soon. But anyway, this meant staying one more night in Tokyo.
The Conrad, where I was last night, was sold out for Saturday night. So instead, I booked the Hilton Toranomon Hills, which is an Unbound Collection Hotel. It cost me 25,000 Hyatt points. And just like the Conrad, they provide pajamas for guests to use during their stay. And so that's what I'm wearing now. And I'm hoping to get a good night's sleep and fly home Sunday morning.
I just breezed through security in like 12 seconds. Thanks to being in a Japan Airlines first class passenger, I went through that way. Here's Japan Airlines first class lounge. Let's go check out the salon. Here's the hand drip coffee that was just brought to my table, along with some Godiva chocolate. I'm in the Japan Airlines first class lounge at Tokyo Haneda Airport, and I got in from curbside in about 2 minutes tops, something like that. The hardest part was going up the elevator to departures level, and then I found the Japan Airlines first class check-in, and they escorted me right through. There's a brand new first class passenger only entrance with a whole waiting area there. I have no idea why you'd ever want to wait there, because the security, the private security goes like 2 seconds. I mean, there was nobody in line. They just whisked me right through. And then they have an automated immigration system for everybody, so I was right through that in seconds, and then right to the first class lounge, and now enjoying the lounge. Japan Airlines first class lounge is huge, and each section has like its own characteristics, and my goal now is to try something special in each one. I was just in the salon where I tried their drip coffee, and now I'm going to go up to the sushi area and try some good sushi. Here's the sushi section of the first class lounge. I think this is a really cool design element. Now I'm going to try out the lounge's hand-prepared sushi and see if they can do as good a job as I did yesterday. Here are the alcohol selections in the sushi area. The red suite has to be the coolest part of this lounge overall. They have this elegant interior and shoe shining service. Let's see, it looks more like a speakeasy than an airport lounge. In the red suite, because I don't have any shoes to shine, I decided to do a sake tasting. I tried both of these, and they're both very good, and I can barely tell the difference, so I like them both equally. My last stop is JAL's table, which is by far the most crowded and least first-classy part of the overall lounge, but I've got to check it out since I'm trying everything. To order food in this lounge, you scan the barcode that's at every table, and then the first time you do it, it brings up an app and asks you to scan your boarding pass. So I'm not really sure what I would have done if I only had an electronic boarding pass. I'm glad I had asked for a paper one at check-in. I suppose I could have brought up my boarding pass on my laptop and then scanned it from my phone, something like that. But otherwise, just something to note. It's a lot easier using the services of this lounge if you have a paper boarding pass. I'm at the table in the Japan Airlines First Class Lounge, and I ordered the curry steamed bun. Came beautifully plated, look at that. Oh wow, this is really delicious. If you're in the lounge, please do order the curry steamed bun. It's terrific. Now to recap my brief tour of the Japan Airlines First Class Lounge at Haneda Airport in Tokyo. I started at the salon, which, if I remember right, was upstairs from the rest of the lounge. And it's kind of like a bar. I didn't try their mixed drinks and everything that you could get there because it's early in the morning for me. But I had instead their hand-drip coffee, which was excellent. So do check that out if you're around there. Next, I went to the sushi room where they hand prepare sushi, and I tried a couple of pieces of sushi there, including the tuna, and that was fantastic. Maybe not as good as I made yesterday when I was doing a sushi making class, but it was still very good. And then I went on to the Red Suite, which is a very elegant room that's kind of like a fancy cigar bar or a speakeasy, and there they will shine your shoes. Now, I didn't have any shoes worth shining, so I didn't do that, but I did do a sake tasting and enjoyed that. Then I went to the table, which is a big cafeteria basically, filled with people. It's the only part of the lounge that's really crowded, and but it's also the place where you can get the most food options if you want to eat. I'm not that hungry, so I just ordered a simple steamed bun, and it was fantastic. So really glad I stopped there, despite it being the least appealing of the physical spaces to be in the lounge. So overall, I think this was a great lounge. It's not maybe the #1 favorite in the world, but it's up there. It's a really great lounge. So I would definitely take your time to enjoy it when you're flying first class, or if you have One World Emerald status and you're flying a One World carrier through Tokyo. Today I'm turning left. Here's my seat, and I'm next to an empty seat. I'm hoping that they'll make up my bed on the empty one so that I can go back and forth easily. We'll see. This is one of the most impressive amenity kits I've ever seen. Look at this, it even includes an iPhone charger. Now, my modern iPhone has a USB-C connector, so that's not helpful for that. However, it is helpful for my AirPods, which still use that old connector, so that's actually may come in handy. I don't usually care much for champagne, but this Salon 2013, it's really good. Only you, JAL's first class passengers, can enjoy the privilege of savoring the highest quality champagne Salon in the stratosphere. Japanese soup bowl is. Wow, love that. Ooh, caviar. I don't mind if I do. Taste testing of Iki versus Ichiro. Taste test time. This time we're doing Ichiro Malt, which is a JAL exclusive, versus Hibiki 100-year anniversary edition blend. This is a particular blend that's available in stores to celebrate Hibiki's 100th anniversary. Let's see which is better. That's really nice. It has a hint of smokiness, not too much. Malt flavors and such that really good. Now the Hibiki. I mean, it's good, but I'm gonna go with the Ichiro. Cheers. In our Party of 5 challenge, one of my favorite experiences, one of my favorite experiences of all time, never mind during the challenge, was when our entire team was flying ANA First Class and we taste tested all of the whiskeys on board, and we all loved the Hibiki 17. So when I recently learned that that the Hibiki is celebrating their 100th anniversary, and they made a special blend to celebrate the 100th anniversary that's only available to buy when flying either ANA or JAL First Class. So during this challenge, my goal was to fly one of those First Class products home so that I could buy the special edition of Hibiki 100, not available in stores. Here it is. Thank you, JAL First Class. The team is planning to get together in January for an in-person team meeting, and I'm going to bring the bottles in and I'm going to pop it open and celebrate. Here it is, the Hibiki 100. What a wild ride. I made it back home safe, and more importantly, the Hibiki made it back home safe. I had to pack it in my luggage in order to check it for the ride from Chicago to Detroit, and so it was a little scary. I patted it, like clothes and things all around it to make sure it would stay safe, but I was still worried on the flight back. I had to do that because I had to get through security, and I wouldn't have been able to get through security with this much liquid. Anyway, it worked out. It's intact and good to go, and now we're both home safe, and I can't wait to sleep tonight in my own bed and watch Nick continue to go on to wherever he's going. I'm going to enjoy watching you from home, Nick.
So now that Greg is back home, let's take a look at his final stats. He ended up taking 24 flights, including positioning flights. He won out on speed, spending 9 days, 2 hours, and 5 minutes traveling, and then spent $8,265, not including miles and points. And when it was all said and done and all the points were tallied, Greg won our Million Mile Madness Challenge. Congratulations, Greg, and thank you so much for taking us along on the journey.